kind of ending do you like in a movie or a show? Do you prefer like the happy ever after where everything's tied up in a cute little bow? Or do you like the cliffhangers? The I need to know more of what happens next. Is that the kind of ending that you prefer? When it comes to science and faith, it can feel a lot like that. There are answers that we know and things that we can't quite figure out. And living in that tension can feel uncomfortable. Some of us feel pressure when we start asking questions about science and faith. Maybe you've been told that asking too many questions means you don't really believe. Or maybe your questions don't feel safe to ask at all. It feels like you have to pick a side. Or maybe you're like, I don't feel tension at all. People should just keep telling me I should. And the truth is, it's normal to wonder, to think about it, to be curious, to ask questions. You know, social media influencers push supplements and workouts. That's biology. We hear about climate change, which is climatology. We see tech companies making self-driving cars. That's called technology. And every week, there's some new headline about space, medicine, or mental health. That's science. And sometimes it seems like science and faith are pulling us in opposite directions. Maybe you've asked, does evolution mean that God didn't create? Do I have to pick between praying and taking medicine for my anxiety? Can I trust both the Bible and what the experts say? So what do we do with all of this truth? Well, the good news is these questions aren't new. People have wrestled with this for thousands of years. Paul, one of the first Christian leaders, wrote this: "The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together." Paul's saying Jesus was there in the very beginning. Not only did he create everything, but he's still holding everything together today. That means science isn't separate from God. It's part of what God made. Faith isn't about picking sides between God and science. It's about putting our trust in the one behind it all, Jesus. Think about Galileo, the scientist who proved the earth wasn't the center of the universe. He once said, "God gave us minds, so of course we should use them." That's what Galileo said. He was a believer. Jesus himself said the greatest commandment is to love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. God isn't afraid of our questions. In fact, he created us to be curious. Curiosity can help grow our faith. You know, here's an example. Imagine I gave you free tickets to Hawaii. Who's getting on that plane? Probably most of you, right? Now, how many of you can fully explain the science of the flight and how it works? Exactly, right? I know I can't. You'd still probably board that plane because you trust the pilot and the process. Faith works the same way. You don't need to answer every question before trusting Jesus. Two big things to remember are it's important to ask questions. God isn't scared of them. The very fact that we wonder is a reminder of how big God really is. Second, trust Jesus. He's the one who created everything and holds it together. Even when science raises new questions, we can be confident in the person of Jesus. So, what if this perspective could change how you see your faith? What if it meant you didn't have to throw out your questions, but could bring them to God instead? This week, think about this. What does it look like to trust Jesus both with the things you understand and with the things you don't? Have a beautiful week, everybody.